right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Welcome, folks. I am sharing stuff, and then we will get going here. Gonna have a fun little stream tonight, hopefully. But hope everybody's staying not too stressed out tonight. Try to take it easy. I know it's hard sometimes. All right. All right. So tonight we are going to be doing a few different things. My Inktober drawing that I did over the course of the last month of October is getting raffled off to someone from my newsletter. So all you had to do to be in the running for this was be on the newsletter. And so I will be pulling that name probably first in a minute here. After that, I wanted to flip through some new comics that I got, some singles and a big book I got, and then I want to ink this drawing of one of my characters from ERIS, the comic that I write and draw with my brother, and give some updates on where this project is and what's coming from that. So should be a fun little stream, you know, nothing too crazy. So let me go ahead and first, let's make some room here. Oh man. And then we can try this raffle thing. Sorry everybody, I'm playing appropriately here on my space. Okay. All right. Greg Parker looks awesome. I like what I'm seeing on the desk. Thanks, Greg. So yeah, this is a drawing I did. It's 11 by 17. I did it over the course of October this year for the Inktober challenge, something I do every year pretty much. Sometimes I do whole stories, sometimes I do collections of drawings, but on this one I thought it might be cool to divide a drawing up in an interesting way that kind of thematically fit and then render it in different styles. So I tried to just, you know, I wasn't like hyper specific on like what styles I was going to do. I just more thought, what am I feeling like today? And so there's parts with like intense cross hatching. I've got some like stippling, you know, here. I've got you know, screen tones, different types of pens, dry brushing, just kind of like a lot of different techniques, so that every day I could kind of try something a little different, just to sort of play and experiment, and use that to enhance the overall feel of the piece. So really happy with this one. It sort of belongs in my Weed Priests / Ascend series that I do, where I sort of explore my my interest in you know, ideas about, you know, celestial travelers and ancient aliens and things like that I find entertaining on many levels. So yeah, my methodology here for the raffle is going to be oh, Nick Forst, congrats on completing the challenge, thanks. So my methodology here on the raffle is I have all the names from my newsletter, which I cannot show everybody, obviously. I'm not going to be doxing anyone here. I have them on a list with numbers associated with each person, or each person's contact, and then I have a random number generator here. And so I will pick someone tonight, and then I will email that person individually as well, in case they're not watching, because, you know, other things are happening in the world right now. And they have a couple days to claim it, and if they don't, I will do the same thing and on down the list until I get someone to claim it. But I'm pretty sure I'll you know, hopefully someone will get it. The other thing is, not all the contact information I have for people has their actual names. So tonight, when I read it, you know, it might be a name, it might have to be sort of a version of your email. Maybe I'll leave off your you're at and see. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that now, and we can kind of move on to the next thing. How's everybody doing out there? All right, so here's my list of names, and here is my number generator. So I have a minimum and maximum based on the number of people on my mailing list. And let's see what it does here. 120. All right, let's see who's 120 on the list. 120. Sorry, I'm like, where did the numbers go? Oh, I collapsed the column. Dave Otterby. So Dave Otterby, or Otterby, I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. Congratulations. Let me make a note here to myself so I don't forget who you are tomorrow morning. This is not a program I use very much. Here we go. Dave Otterby. So congratulations, Dave. I hope that you are around to to grab this, and if not, hey, someone else will be lucky at that. So, all right. Sorry, folks. I just want to make sure I get this guy's information so I don't forget about him. We wouldn't want that. All right. Awesome. So, congratulations, Dave. Stinker Buns is in the chat. Nick Forst is both saying congratulations. Yeah, this is a cool piece. I hope we all get it. And if for some reason you guys know this dude and he doesn't write back in time, don't rub it in. But understand, I can't wait forever. So I got some cool comics this week. Some of you might know it was my birthday on Halloween. That's my day of birth, most appropriately. And one thing I did for myself, other than going to see a movie, was I went to Howling Pages, which is a local comic shop I've mentioned here, and they sort of specialize in trade paperbacks, graphic novels, art books, local indie stuff, imported indie stuff. It is a manga. It's an amazing shop, and it's a very intimate space, but it is just packed with like a very well curated selection of books. And so I was like, I'm just going to go there and spend the whole day like just figuring out like some stuff to buy. And I landed on this book here, and one of the reasons I got it, other than it looks really cool, is that it I didn't really know anything about it. And I actually kind of liked that. I there was a bunch of books I was looking at getting that were stuff that I knew about or I've read before but I didn't own. And I was like, why don't I just get something that all I know about it is what I see here in the shop, right, in these few minutes that I'm looking at it. And this one kind of struck me as being just kind of interesting. I think it's French, and it's called Convoy by Kevin Stevens, and Jeff is the artist, Jef. And he's definitely from the Mobius sort of French school, a little more cartoony. It's definitely got a lot of character to the way he draws things. Kind of clean line sort of style, as you can see, with the sort of toned down, less saturated color palette. And it's kind of a story that's like a Mad Max in France, sort of, but with comments about today's sort of political issues extended into that future, or socio-political issues, I should say. And some of the writing is a little, what I like is that every character has kind of their own little way of being. Like, all the characters feel kind of interesting and well defined. I want to show you guys, there's a page up here, here we go, where they kind of form this crew to go on this mission, and they kind of give you a rundown of what everyone is in the crew, just inserted here into the pages between when the story starts and when the action kind of picks up. And so it tells you all about them, and like where they're from, and like what religions they are, and what their sexual preferences are. It's kind of an interesting way to do it. And yeah, it's got a lot of cool sort of sequences. There is some probably stuff I probably shouldn't show on here, some so I'll try to be careful. But I would recommend it. It's got a neat style to it. I was struck by the way he would exaggerate faces and the way he was rendering out some of these character designs and giving every character a very unique look and like body type, and it's got some really crazy stuff in it though. Some crazy color work too, and cool action. A lot of really kind of neat sequences with interesting paneling, and yeah, really just nice drawing. The kind of drawing that I wish I could do with the clean line. I love that style, and maybe someday I'll do another book like that. I've done a couple where it is sort of, you know, not very many spotted blacks and not a lot of hatching or anything, but it's been a minute. Like Weed Priest might be the last one I kind of did that way. So yeah, it's a pretty cool book. I would recommend checking it out. They did another book together, which I think is like right after this one. It might be a sequel. I don't know. Again, I didn't really try to do any research on these. I love this right here, this face where he's pulling this grenade pin. Yeah, but I tried not to do any research and just buy it based on what was here. And they also show you some vehicle designs, and then how he, I assume Jeff is a he, I actually don't know, but I assume how he had these little, where are they at here? Well, anyway, there's cool drawings of the different vehicles in here that you get to see. And then there's some pictures here of, where is it? It must be before this. Of how he's, here we go. So he used all these little toys. He kind of like tricked out these little toys, and then he was staging the action, you know, based on the photographs that he was taking of the toys, sort of like, you know, he was directing the shots with the models. And I thought that was pretty cool. A pretty cool little trick. Because if you're going to do something with this many vehicles, you either got to get like really, really proficient at it, or you have to kind of use models to help out, you know, and then you can really take full advantage of having those vehicles. So it's pretty cool, pretty neat. Check it out. Okay, everybody's good here. So a few other ones I got while I was at that shop. I also picked up. I kind of slowly. I'm just, and I'll probably never stop because they keep making books. I'm slowly starting to try to get every Decadence comic that I could. So Decadence Comics, I've mentioned before on the show. They have there's two guys, Lando and Stathis Semperless, and they are, I believe, in the UK. I don't believe. I know Dave is. Lando is, and they just make awesome, like sci-fi kind of psychedelic, you know, dystopian, experimental comics, and I love everything they do. It's just, all of it is fantastic. Some of it's probably gonna be hard to see on here, but there's a lot of manga influence on this stuff, but he has these kind of really thin lines that he draws everything, but then uses things like speed lines and lots of shots that you would see in manga. And then there's also zip tones on here, which again might not read great on here. And all silent. This one's just all silent. Some of his other stories do have, you know, do have words in them and stuff. But yeah, I would highly recommend anything they do. This one's called Woodhall. But if you go to decadencecomics.com, I think it is, or something like that, they have, you know, a bunch of other books that you should check out on there. They're awesome. Definitely check them out. Here, let me put this up here while I'm talking. Really quick, I'll mention this because I picked up my copy of The Moon is Following Us #2, but then after I mean, mine's not out yet, but the second printing will be the cover I did for The Moon is Following Us, which, if you're on my newsletter, you saw I just dropped that original art, and it actually just sold today, I think, or yesterday. But yeah, my cover will be on the second printing. So if you haven't been reading The Moon is Following Us, you really should be. And if you haven't, you probably are going to have to buy the second printing, in which case you could pick up my cover. Or if you already have a copy, maybe go back and get my cover, you know. I think it turned out pretty good. This issue, though, if you guys aren't aware, it's sort of this mix of reality and a dream world. And in the reality scenes, Dan draws, and then in the dream world scenes, Riley draws. And a lot of this issue takes place in the real world, so we get a lot of Dan art here. And I mean, you know, doing the kind of things that that he does, you know. It's really fun. I love seeing when Dan works in scenes that are more based in contemporary reality. He doesn't do it a lot in a lot of his books. He doesn't have the opportunity because there's a lot of sci-fi stuff, superhero stuff. But I think it really showcases how good his sense of storytelling and drama is. And so this is a really neat issue, and it's still got some cool big images like this one. And like right here, this is pretty rad. And then we jump back into the dream world with Riley's work. And again, don't sleep on Riley, man. Like, Riley is hands down one of the best comic artists working right now, like, without question. And he is my friend, and so I am biased. I will admit that. But his work is really amazing. It constantly surprises me. All right, anything going on here? Whoop, whoop. That cover's awesome, Greg Parker says. Love the first 2 pages of that issue. Killer art throughout. I agree. I did get more Ultra Mega. I still don't have it on my poll, but I probably should, because I've maybe been a little critical of the writing of Ultra Mega in the first series, even though I like a lot of the art that James does. But I'm kind of turning around on it with this second series, or these new installments. I feel like the humor is playing better, and the cartooning is getting a little more experimental, a little more wild, and I feel like some of the characters, I'm starting to understand them, whereas those are things I didn't feel about the first part of the series. But this one's great. It's got a lot of cool action in it, but a lot of great sort of character development. Some really cool James stuff that only James can do in it. Like this is a great shot, but let me find something. Like right here, this is James stuff that just blows me away, is the way he creates space and scale, like with like texture and drama and all that, but the actual rendering is so like stripped down, to the essentials, like these buildings here. It's just, some shapes with some lines drawn across them, but the way he's done it, and the tools he's utilized, with the little splatters here, and maybe like the pen scratches showing through a little bit, and like a little bit of splatters up here, and then solid lines up here. Like that is so efficient, but still evokes all the things: the texture, the light, the shape of everything, the depth. It's a really incredible shot. Like, this is the kind of shot I dream of doing. I think that these are really, really hard to do, and just beautiful to look at. I mean, of course, all the monsters and stuff is cool, but that stuff is, it's not easy, but it's easier, I think, than creating a shot like the one we were just talking about. Like that's not easy, but it sure is a lot more fun, and maybe it comes a little more naturally to draw something like that for most people, at least for me. But yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. If you're not checking it out, I mean, maybe pick it up. And then, of course, I finally got my copy of Absolute Batman. This was really good, man. I wasn't sure what to expect. I'm not, like, huge on Snyder. Like, I don't read a lot of his stuff. I was in it for Nick, and Nick's art is absolutely, again, just efficient and perfect and wonderful. And I was really into the story. I mean, I don't know if you guys liked it, but I thought it was really, really cool. Jordan, you love Riley's work too. Of course, man. Of course. You have taste. Jordan has taste. But this Batman book is cool, man. I'm like, I don't even like Batman either. It's like, I'm not a Snyder fan. I don't really like Batman. But I picked this up, and I'm like, this is pretty good. This is pretty interesting. It's, kind of I guess Absolute is going to be their, like, Ultimates in a way, or whatever, where they it's like an alternate version of the character. And this version of Batman is pretty neat. I like that he's not a rich guy. I like that he's a big giant chonker dude. I like the kind of armor and abilities they're showcasing with him. Nick has, this sequence here, this fight scene here that he did is so cool. Showcasing the new weapons and the different way he moves. Like, all of this in one little action sequence on 2 pages with you know, this epic shot at the end. Oh, it's so good, dude. And his spotted blacks are on the next level. He knows exactly where to put things and not put things like where necessary. And like, man, look at this. This is just, that's awesome. Really good stuff, man. I am so stoked that this is doing well, because to see people like Dragata, who I think are doing really interesting things, get mainlined out there into like the bigger consciousness, I think is really awesome. So, all right, how's everybody doing here? Action is well paced, Jordan says. Yes. Nick killed it, and I enjoyed the different story, Greg Parker says. Yes. Nick Forster, I love you talking about the individual panels. You break it down so well. You're so supportive. Well, yeah, man. I mean, it's comics. We gotta stick up for each other here. We gotta beat each other up, you know. So, whoa, this is a character from my sci-fi comic ERIS, which I have been chipping away at ever since I became a full-time artist almost 5 years ago. I've been working on ERIS off and on between the gigs I've been getting, and I've been, I guess, fortunate that I've been really busy, you know, with, you know, paying projects, and so finishing ERIS has taken me a little longer than I had anticipated, but I'm gonna do it because it is a project that I care about a lot, and it's one that I've been writing with my younger brother Logan, and so the plan is you know, right now I'm full steam on ERIS. Well, yeah, after I finish, I have to finish something for another person, but I'm full steam on ERIS, and so I will be finishing it up with the plan to do a Kickstarter in the spring that collects the entire series, and we'll have all sorts of extra stuff in it. You know, that's the plan, and so I am very excited about that. And so I might even start working on some of this on streams, just because it is really fun. Although I am on the last scene, so I probably shouldn't spoil it. We'll figure something out. So today I was just going to do a quick, since I'm trying to get back into this headspace, because it's so different from the last two projects I've been working on, I'm going to just draw one of the characters from the book so that I can kind of get back in the groove on it. I'm trying to keep it pretty simple and pretty quick. It's been a pretty long day, but you know, we always just start drawing here and we see what happens, and you know, see where it takes us. Sometimes we fail. I have failed on here before, many times, and sometimes it goes really well and you get something super awesome. So we're gonna hope for that, and I'm gonna be a little cavalier here and just kind of go in here and start. But yeah, it sounds like everyone was digging Batman. I was gonna say did everybody like it, but it sounds like it's a certified hit. And I'm known as a hater who hates things that are popular, but I can't joke, man. It was good. It was very good. So I think I want to have this be pretty harshly lit here, with a lot of black area is sort of what I'm thinking. So right now I'm trying to just sort of get in some of the fine lines that I know I want already, and maybe then spot the blacks along with a little bit of rendering with the brush, and then erase and fill in the blacks after I've erased for a change, or at least most of them, so that they read as a little more of a solid black instead of being an eraser black, which, you know, is fun to play with. I might even play with that a little bit, that effect of when you erase over your inks versus you know, filling in the blacks after the fact. You're going to get a different on the paper look, which that doesn't always translate in the printed book, but on the original art you can see that, and I always try to make it look cool in the original art if I can, because that's a big part of what I like about making comics is the actual original art itself. So I like it to look cool even on its own. We're gonna give him some bloody hands. I think my assistant slash also buddy and fellow artist Alex, she was helping me out on this book with my color flats, and she called Rankin. This character's name is Rankin, and she's like, "Oh, he's got blood gloves." I was like, "Yeah, he kind of does," because I had a drawing of him kind of like this, where his hands are covered in blood. It's kind of a central sort of image almost of the book. It was kind of the cover of the first issue. It's a very violent comic, so if you're into violent space movies with super powered guys that are crazy, you'll like this. You'd like it. But if you're squeamish, you might not like it. So be warned if you're squeamish. Okay. And this one, I was showing off, sorry, checking the chat here. Rising tide lifts all boats. That's right, Nick. Can't wait, says Greg. Did I check out Absolute Wonder Woman, Jordan says. I have not yet, Jordan. Should I? Is it good? Which pen is that, Greg says. The Pentel Pocket I will be using soon. It's right here. But this is a Zebra fine tip brush pen. And these are really great. I like their lines a lot. I'll probably start using that one in a minute, actually, because I'm starting to get into stuff that I would like to be a little bolder with, like this crotch. All right. Oh yeah, there we go. There he is. So Rankin is the leader of this team. They're called the ERIS Vanguard, and they are in the employ or work with and for this shadowy group that controls the entire planet of Earth. Right? They're sort of their enforcers slash hit people slash army, and they are super powered guys that all have sort of different abilities, but a lot of it is speed and strength that they all have, and they are on a mission to secure the source of the drug that gives them their powers, and that source is they think being controlled by a former member of one of these teams named Bosch. And so they're on a journey to the edge of the universe to find this rogue Vanguard member, Bosch. It's very Apocalypse Now, it would be a good analog for the story. But it's a team of guys instead of one guy. And they are pretty nasty bunch of guys. Pretty brutal. I wouldn't even call them the heroes. But on the team, there is one member who is the youngest and comes from a different background than the rest of them. And he is starting to kind of question what's going on. He's having crazy dreams. And he's starting to feel like maybe what he's doing is not what he should be doing. And maybe there's something else going on with him that he doesn't quite understand. And so as they get closer and closer to their goal, his dreams intensify, and we start to kind of see how that all plays out. And that is sort of the story, but the book has also been sort of an excuse for me to really explore what can be done with action in a comic, and what I can do with it, and what what kind of things are possible if you just give yourself the space to do it. And so there's a lot of big fights in the comic. And the third chapter, which is the one I've been working on, is the king of all the fights. So I'm very excited for people to check it out. And it's almost complete. And I probably could have run the Kickstarter, but I really don't like to run a campaign unless the book is pretty much ready to go to print. I don't want people to, expect something and not get it. I don't want to let people down. And so since I didn't have it quite where I wanted it yet, that's why I decided to delay it until this next year. Because I really want to have the full package together and know sort of what all the rewards are going to be, and know that all the pages are done and that it's ready to go, and have the printer contacted, so that we can hit the ground running if we get funded, which hopefully we will. So you guys can stay tuned. I'll be talking more about it, as we get closer to it. But that's the basic gist of the story. And if you have read it, thank you. If you haven't, you're going to get a chance to get the whole story in one place right now. And if you go to my website right now, the first chapter is free on the website. So if you want to go read that, and that was one of the first things I drew when I quit my job. So the other thing you'll see that I hope is cool to people is not necessarily, I don't know if I got better or anything, but you see a progression of the art. You see me go through different phases, and I think it all hangs together pretty well still. At least that's what I'm hoping. And but I do think it's kind of fun to see, just kind of see how it evolves, with time. All right. That's probably enough if I don't want to erase too much. But I do want to get this circle in here. And we're going to do it with a compass, I think. Ah! All right. Greg Parker, 100% agree. Zebras are great, Greg, yes. Jordan recommends Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman. Nick Force, the concept is great, and I know the art will be amazing. Count me in. Well, thanks, Nick. I think you'll enjoy it in particular. It is a, it's a passion project, and so so I don't know. Like, I feel obviously a connection to it. Sometimes there's things you want to make that are just I don't know. You can't escape them. They're like they're coming for you, and you have to do something about it. I don't know how to describe it, but this is one I haven't been able to just let go, even though I've been busy and stuff, right? And so it's been kind of nice to feel like I'm getting back to it a little bit. So I don't know. I feel like I want this to be more to the side, a little bit bigger. That's pretty good. All right. Jordan, I would love for you to do some ERIS fan art, dude, because one of the things I'd like to have in the back of the book is stuff like that. I think that would be really fun to include. So, maybe, I don't know if I'll do it as an automatic thing or as a stretch goal, but I would love to have something like that. Or if you want to help promote, cross-promote, I'm down, brother. You just hit me up, and we'll work something out. Anybody out there, honestly. And as the date approaches, I would love to, if there's any shows you guys think I should go on, or if anybody has a show they'd like to have me on, I love to chat, talk shop, talk comics. Okay, let's well, let's erase, but let me just really quick. The pen. Oh wait, no, I want to do this as a, I'm just going to freehand this. Oh, nope, that's not the one I wanted. I'm going to freehand this over the pencil line. Just keep it kind of, doesn't have to be perfect, because I think I already know the other thing I want to do with this. Okay. All right. See? There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the juice right there. Yeah, because sometimes, you do a project because it makes sense and it makes money, and other times you do a project because you just have to do it. And this one, I certainly hope it makes money, because I would love to just be releasing my books straight to y'all. But even if it doesn't, it's got to be out in the world. I got to do it. I got to do it. Go. I did just back that Jason Pearson art book that's on Kickstarter right now. I couldn't pass that up. I'm a huge fan of his art. I know he's a controversial guy, but I feel that it's sad he's gone, and I wish we could have gotten more from him. But gotta check that book out. I think I will learn a lot just by looking through those pages in black and white, blown up. I love those artist editions. And I think the guy doing it is the same guy that did the IDW ones. Like, even though he's not at IDW now, he's doing stuff on his own. What the heck's his name? Scott Dunbeer? Is that his name? One of those guys from there. I should know that, but all right. All right, let's fill in some black areas here. Now this is a Pentel brush pen, so well, that's not quite exactly how I wanted it, but we'll figure it out. One thing I like about these pencil brush pens is that you can get a pretty good variety of marks with them, like kinds of mark making, without losing too much precision to go straight back into doing like lines like I just did just now. And I think that's pretty cool. I have a harder time doing that. I was using a brush the other day, and I do like the versatility of a dip brush too. And there was a lot of things I missed doing with it when I was working with it, but the transition sometimes is a little slower. You have to go go mark off a lot more to get your tip kind of back to where you want it. And this tends to go straight back to the natural tip even after you do some more intense stuff, right? Like with dry brush kind of effects. And this particular Pentel brush pen is, I think, my third over the last 5 years, and it's just now starting to maybe not be quite as perfect as it originally was. But honestly, the second one I got was the only dud I've gotten so far, or used so far, and it just never kind of worked exactly right. The first one I had forever. The second one was sort of a non-starter, and then this one I've had for a long time since then. So I tend to get a pretty good life out of them, and yeah, they're good. They're good tools. I think they're good tools. I'm getting some of these rough things in first, because then I can sort of let the pen get a little blobbier when I start to fill in the black areas. Let's see. Sweet technique for a background effect, says Greg Parker. Thank you. I've really been digging the dry brush these last few years. I'm trying to actually find the best way to get it to translate to the page. And I think part of it is just trusting modern printing a little more, where you don't necessarily think it's gonna, you got to trust that it'll show. Things will show through. Instead of thinking you have to like level the heck out of them and everything. So, all right, now let's start filling in some of our more delicate areas here. Okay. I want to see how I'm trying to not put too much detail in the face. I'm trying to let it be a little obscure. So I don't think I want to get in there. There we go. That's nice. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I've been messing with my proportions a lot more too lately. So this is probably even more extreme than it looks in the book, but I've been having a lot of fun with it, thinking I might just dive in with some of that in my work. All right. And I might even put zip tones on this. We'll see. We'll see. Me and zip tones. Eli, what's up, cool dudes? Hope you're doing well, Eli. So I went and saw Long Legs finally, and I won't spoil anything for anybody, but I've been asked by a bunch of people before I saw it, like, what did you think? And I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. But I finally saw it, and it's got some cool stuff in it. But overall, it didn't really land for me. I thought it was a little contrived. But there's some really cool cinematography in it, and really cool performances. You know, really cool performances. I would say it's worth watching for sure. But it wasn't 100% my jam. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but it's pretty alright. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. So I was showing earlier on my Instagram, like, I was cleaning my desk up. That's what was going on. I was cleaning my desk up, and I was finding like my little tiny drawings that I do before I do a piece. And so like that's what I did on this one. I like did a little. I was trying to figure out some ideas, and then I got this, and then that was a matter of trying to transfer that to here. And I almost blew it up because I really liked this, but I couldn't quite get it. But I finally got it where I liked it. Eli is way behind on movies. Just saw the new Alien, Romulus. Did you like it? Romulus. All right, all right. This is looking all right. This it's going as planned. That's always good. It's always refreshing when things just go as planned. Although I don't, I'm still not crazy about this. That's a little better. Oh yeah, just a nice little poop, poop, poop. There we go. All right. There we go. That can work. That can work, right? That can work. Sorry guys, I'm in the zone here. Check in here with you guys. Eli, I loved it. Lots of cool shots. Hard to go wrong with alien movies. You know, it is a great concept, for sure. It is a great concept. I love the xenomorph itself. The original design is probably one of the greatest designs ever. You know, we are all indebted to Geiger. The man, the myth, the legend. There's something about it that just to this day, you know, just is somehow taps into this weird space, you know, inside you of just like the known and unknown. Like it's like a nightmare. It's like you're looking at a nightmare. You know, it's very cool. All right, we're getting there. Let's give him a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, boy. All right. There's a museum near me that has some props from the first movie and second movie. Oh, well that's cool. What museum is that? I think this pen is dying. I think that's the problem, y'all. I bet you money. Watch. Bet you money. Ha, see? Called it. It was in that beautiful space. There's like a moment where it gets blobby towards the end, and then right after that blobby moment, there's like this perfect window of like dry, brushy, fine lining that is just so nice. I feel like I'm changing these things on the streams all the time. It's like that. It's not. I don't feel like I change them all the time. It just feels like it always happens when I'm on the stream. Same thing with my razor blades. All right, let's get back to work. This is perfect because this one will be blobby at the beginning, and I can use it to fill all this area back here. The Mopop in Seattle. Pop culture stuff. One of the bat suits, huh? I hope it's one of the good ones. What are the best bat suits? I don't know which one I like the best. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Batman Returns? The Nolan stuff I liked originally, like when it came out, but now I don't know. I've kind of leaned back towards the Burton stuff. Okay, that's looking good. Let's just do a little cleanup, and then I think I'm gonna put some red and some pink on this. I think I'm gonna use some markers. I'm liking where we're going so far. Maybe just a little bit of, just a tiny bit of some rough hatching there, and maybe just like a little bit over here. Not too much. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. A little bit here. Here. Yep. Make it pop, he says. Tyrell, you've met Adam West Batman, so you know who the best is, says Nick. Well, Nick, I gotta say, you know, that Adam West stuff has a charm. It has a charm for sure. Alright, let's start with the pink. Got a couple different pinks here. Oh man, it's my drops. We got, this is the darker and this is the lighter. So let's do the darker on the edges. I don't know where I got these pens, I can't remember. And I haven't used them enough. But my daughter loves these pens, and so every time she comes over to draw with me, she wants to use these couple pinks that I got, and so they're almost dead. And she's like destroyed the tips. Well, maybe not destroyed. She's pretty good about it, but I didn't really get to use them very much before she got used all the ink out of them. And that is okay. You know, that is okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm into that, man. I am into that. All right, we'll roll with that. All right, now we need some red. Now, do I want to use... I kind of want to use red ink, guys. I think I want to use some red ink. Even though, oh boy, it's getting late. Okay, we're going to do some red ink. And then we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. But first, we need to make this look like it's not a mistake. Go. All right, where's my red? Where's my red ink? There it is. All right, folks. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to put that on my phone. Guys, watch this. This is going to be bad when I drop that everywhere. All right. So I think let's start on the arms. All right, there we go. That's cool. That's cool. These bloody hands. All right, that's looking cool. Eli says wicked. Thank you, Eli. Oh, hey, look at that. Now we're going to do that. All right, now we're going to do something with this moon up here in red too, I think, guys. Why not, right? Only happy accidents. That's right, Greg. That is absolutely right. You must have been here before. You know how we feel about Bob Ross here. He's right. He was correct. Okay. Of course, here. All right. Put our red back. Well, I was originally going to do the zips on him, but now I'm thinking I might do them on the background. And I might also do a little bit to kind of bring out the armor as a separate entity here from the skin. Something like that. Just in lieu of doing a cutting a mat and doing a splatter, I'm doing some like this little atmosphere here. The splatter might look cool, but this works too. Sometimes you gotta just try something different in the moment. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I am going to do some tones, but I'm going to do them on the bottom. I'm going to do it different. I think I was going to originally do it on the top. Well, you know, it's a question of I want some mid-tones right here. I don't think I want to do an ink wash or anything like that. So it's a question, do I dark light into here, or do I do a dark light across the body? I feel like that if I do that, I'm gonna end up rendering a bunch on him. Whereas if I do the background, I can keep this stark. So we might try that. Let's just do that. The question is, how dramatic of a gradient do I want? I think I want it fairly dramatic. This one might do the trick. That might be even too much, but let's try that one. All right, we are closing in on it, dudes. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So this will hopefully pop him out a little bit more is the goal here. And if we do it right, yeah, there we go. You see, it's that easy. It's all decision making. That's the hard part. Alright, so after I do those initial cuts is usually when I do some like a little bit of burnishing down so that it doesn't peel up as easy. This is a bone folder. It's a bookmaking tool, but I use it for this too. Oh cripes, I got a crease in there. There we go. Alright, now we're just going to take out some of those dots. And this way you can actually have some depth to these little dots too, so they're not all the same intensity. Kind of helps build a little bit of atmosphere as well. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Does this red pen still work? Let's see here if we can get a little more on these outlines, and then I think we're good. There we go, folks. I need to do like 2 things, and then I think we got this licked. It's so much fun to draw your own characters, y'all. I tell you, I miss this guy. I miss old Rankin. I'm gonna be back to drawing him for the next few days at least. Well, folks, again, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do. And if you have, I don't know, go tell your friends. Tell them to watch me next time I'm on. It's pretty fun, right? You can hang out. Going into the winter here, I'm trying to do my best to be a little more consistent on the streams, so you know, hopefully I'll see you guys around. I hope everybody stays safe tonight and tomorrow. Don't let things get to you too much, whatever the circumstances end up being. And I hope that everybody has a good night. Congratulations again to Dave, and I will be reaching out to him, and if he doesn't answer, then, well, you know, we'll do somebody else. But thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evenings, and stay tuned for more on ERIS, and I will talk to you later.